Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to It Takes Two. Before the break we were talking about a scenario regarding a wife who was accused by her husband of not being a virgin before she was married, and then something came to mind. I wanted to ask a question to both of yourselves actually. I'll start with yourself, Sister Ruby. Is this idea about virginity and purity, and yes, people who have kept their character
chastity.
Noble and chastity. You know, this is obviously something that is very respected in Islam, but it's almost like a kind of inference that for those who have been married, have known people, their spouse in a certain way, and are not married anymore, that are they impure or in some way sullied or something of that nature? And I just wanted to get your feedback as a sister about things of this nature. Maybe it's me as a Westerner, but I just have to ask that question as a Muslim nonetheless.
So, rephrase the question, sorry.
So my question is, do you think that there is a overemphasis on the virginity and purity in that sense, or that concept of purity?
I think in any main religion, you look at Christianity, you look at Judaism, all major religions have this concept of chastity, of being pure. And why is that? Because chastity is equivalent to being close to God, godliness, being mindful, following rules, protocols. And this is all for the pleasure of Allah, not because of mankind. I don't like this notion that we're doing it to prove, maybe keep our family's name. Everything we do has to be for the pleasure of Allah. All major religions have that. Right. Of course, life happens. In the West, you have people who revert to Islam. They've had a different lifestyle and stuff. Virginity doesn't mean you have good character, that you have good akhlaq, that you're a pious person, that you follow your religion. It might be a situation that you haven't had a situation that has led you into temptation. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are of good character. There's plenty of people that we know who are very prestigious in our community that don't have these things. Yes, it is important, as I said, but for many people, they may, as you said, they may have been married before. Right. They may be divorced. As long as you're trying to please Allah, this is my opinion, I'm not a scholar. As long as you're trying to please Allah, Allah's all forgiving and all merciful. And if you've had a past before and you've come back into Islam or whatever, it's fine. Look at our Prophet, peace be with him. He married people who were divorced, etc.
That's what I'm thinking of.
But I think this is a cultural question. When people get married for the first time, it's very important for them to marry a lady that is chaste. But at the same token, you have many sisters who marry brothers who have had a past, and you don't get the same emphasis. When it's a brother, you hardly hear a sister say, "Oh, are you a virgin?" to a brother. They don't ask it in the Middle East. It's almost rude to ask that question. The concept doesn't exist of male virginity in that. Well, I think for many people it's a different rule. I think as a woman, many times you're not meant to ask these questions and you're meant to toe the line. But for me, it would be most important that you're trying to please Allah. And inshallah, I hope the brother's married somebody that he feels is God-fearing, and that would be most important. That's just my opinion. Inshallah. Good to say it.
And yourself, Said, what is this issue of, or this perspective in Muslim cultures about virginity? Is it directly Islamic? Is it more cultural? You know, like, can a man stipulate, I want that to be a part of the condition of my wife must be a virgin? Is that okay? Or?
You see, it depends. Usually, the pious female does not have any sexual relationship before marriage. That's why virginity is important. Leaving aside some abnormal cases when virginity can be lost for medical reasons, or for previous marriage, no one will blame because he knows that she was previously married. But a female who is marrying for the first time, is expected to be virgin, and virginity is evidence, not the full evidence, but an evidence of evidences of her being pious person.
Okay.
Usually, pious man does not want to marry a female who deliberately had sexual relationship with other men before marriage. So in this sense, yes, virginity is important. If there is no reason of losing virginity like previous marriage or medical reason.
Is it the same for a male, Sayed? Is it okay for a female to expect the same from a male, to be a virgin before he got married? Because, you know, with the young people, a lot of the young brothers, for example, they it's okay for them to date, etc. But when they want to get married...
Dating?
Pardon?
Dating is okay?
I didn't say it's okay. I'm just saying there's sections
They
of our
believe
community that they do that. And then they say it's okay because they're boys. But when they get married, they want somebody. It happens, really, that is a virgin. But the boys can go and have fun. It's almost like, well, it's okay because they're boys. What would you say to that, Said? Especially to the young boys who think it's okay, especially in the West, because there's so much pressure for them.
Wrong is wrong, coming from male or female. Wrong is wrong. To have sexual relationship out of the frame of Islam. Islam has the frame of permanent marriage and the frame of time fixed marriage, temporary marriage.
Correct.
Any sexual relationship out of the frame of Islam is a sinful act, whether it is from female or from male. Both of them are wrong.
Okay. And the reason why, just to sort of finish on this point before we move on, the reason why I ask a question, because I sometimes have concerns of the stigma that is attributed to Muslim women who are married and then they become divorced because they're not happy in the situation they are in, and then it's like, well, she's a divorcee, she's she's not pure, so there's a stigma, and then it's hard for them to get remarried, and then sometimes women become prisoners in kind of like intolerable situations.
This is a cultural situation that we have. Obviously, as the Sayyid has said, it's clear in the Quran, divorce is allowed. You know, obviously she's been married, things have happened, but it's not meant to tarnish you with a stick. What if she was widowed? Then what would happen? So I think it's people's minds. People are creating too much fitna. It's a cultural thing. I think we should encourage divorced women to remarry, and we should encourage brothers to say it's okay. They don't have the plague. This is something that Allah
and the Quran
dislikes,
doesn't rule against it, and
exactly.
And it's part of the Sunnah. So,
and sometimes, you know, people, I've known Muslims, subhanallah, that you know, they've had the hijab on, the chador, and they act pious, but they're not. And it's the reverts who have come in, who have changed their lives around, are the most beautiful people. So, you know, Allah's the best of planners.
Okay, only because of time, I'll move on. But very, very interesting points raised by you both. Next letter reads, Dear ItTakes2, my in-laws are nuts. Mostly my mother-in-law, because I got married. Before I got married, she acted normal. After I got married, she started acting like a crazy person. To make matters worse, she even started living with us. My husband doesn't seem to have a backbone when it comes to his mother. Even if he finds her annoying, he doesn't say a word. My mother-in-law enters bedrooms without knocking on doors at unacceptable hours. She criticizes my dress sense, food and cooking on occasion. And when I was pregnant and I was getting a little fat, she referred to her as, are you pregnant? Because you seem a little bit fat, yes. Yeah. And it's almost like my husband's mother did it on purpose. She was nice until we got married, and then it was like she trapped me. I'm in a relationship with my husband and not his mother. I cook, or feels like I'm in a relationship with the mother too. I cook for her, clean after her, and keep her entertained. I want to move out. I want her to move out. Do I have any right to ask this? And is there anything you can suggest? and this is a anonymous viewer from Scotland.
Directed
So
to say it
there's
first.
a whole host of issues.
This issue is a common situation in millions of houses. I say millions.
Subhanallah.
Not many, but millions.
I say millions, yeah. The issue between the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. And same daughter-in-law, after some time, she becomes mother-in-law, and she also treats her daughter-in-law in different
The cycle
ways.
continues.
The vicious cycle.
So it is more or less a matter of understanding. The mother-in-law should have understanding that she is not allowed to enter the room of her daughter-in-law without permission. Not allowed in Islam. It is haram.
It's not a small thing.
It is haram.
It's
It is
bad
insulting.
manners. My
It
goodness.
is insulting, and it is violating the basic rights of dignity and privacy.
Yeah.
So it is wrong. She cannot say, I am mother, so what? Does she accept anyone entering her bedroom anytime without permission? She cannot. So how can she do thing which is not accepted by her for herself? Wrong. And also wrong to deal with the daughter-in-law in a way making her feel insulted. The reasonable mothers-in-law deal with their daughters-in-law as they deal with their real daughters. Does she accept, if she has real daughter, that her real daughter faces the same situation where she lives? She does not accept.
But don't mother-in-laws, like parents, have rights on their children? What about as a mother? Does she have some rights?
The rights of the parents on the children cannot be denied, but it is not from the right to enter the bedroom without knocking the door or taking permission. That is not from the rights. No. The right of the parents on their children to respect them, to serve them, to deal with them with very nice ways and manners, yes, but not to accept wrong things from the parents. After all, they are human beings, and the human beings' rights are equal. And you know the very famous statement of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam, always deal with people as you want them to deal with you. The mother-in-law should deal with her daughter-in-law as she wants others to deal with her, to respect her dignity, privacy. That's the way. Now she is asking, am I allowed to ask my husband to get me a separate house? Here the question of the parents come. It is not obligatory on the husband to take his wife away from his parents' house. As far as he is providing her with her rights, his wife's rights should be fulfilled, all her rights, without any insult, without any harm. But if her staying with her in-laws means definite insult and definite violation of her basic rights, it is the responsibility of the husband to either save the rights of the wife or get her somewhere else.
Okay. Sister Ruby, I know there's a number of things that you probably want to say, but I have to ask you, does he need to speak to his mother-in-law? Does he need to stand up and speak to his mother, should I say? The brother, does he need to?
I think he should, but obviously there's a way to do this. I think what the problem is, and it's in so many cultures, is that there's a certain section of women, when their children get married, they want to be the queen of the house. which are some of these mother-in-laws.
Okay.
So when
this happens in the community. This isn't some bizarre, strange letter.
This happens in European culture. Basically, you've got my child. What a blessing my child is. You've come into the family. You know, my child deserves better than you. It's all this fitna. It's in so many cultures, and then in a lot of Islamic cultures and Eastern cultures, a mother is really in a good position. You know, they don't want to upset their mothers, etc. But as the Sayyid mentioned, you have to remember yourself. This mother was married once herself. She came into somebody's home. Imagine how she felt. You know, you're new in the marriage. You're trying to find your own feet. You're trying to grow as a couple. You're trying to.
So she was there once. She too was there once.
She was there once. So let's not forget everyone has been in that situation. And it's completely un-Islamic. It's really bad adab not to knock on doors and give people the respect they need. But I think a lot of the time mother-in-laws do this because they feel insecure. They feel that...
How do you mean?
They feel that their child's going to go away from them. So they latch on. You can't cook food better than I can. My son likes it like this. You're not being a good wife. Why do you look like this? So
there's a competitive edge
you know,
to
with women, there is unfortunately some competitiveness between the mother and the daughter, the family that's there and the family that's coming in. It's really bad because we're all a unit. But we have this, and I think, you know, the brother, just out of respect for his wife, in a nice way, make the mother comfortable to say, look, you're always going to be my mother. Inshallah, you're going to be a grandmother one day. Your wisdom, your knowledge is so appreciated. We need you here as a support, you know, work as a team. So she feels comfortable, because maybe she feels that she's put all her energy in this child and now somebody else is coming in
to reap the rewards. So he needs to make his mum feel secure.
I think he needs to, it's his job to make both the ladies secure, make his mum feel secure. This is not a stranger. This is someone we're adding to the family. We don't need to have all this chaos. We could really blend in nicely. But I do think he needs to have some boundaries between the both of them.
You said that this is like a cycle. Sometimes it happened, you know, like the mother-in-law would have been that young lady at one point. Why do you think this continues? This cycle, why does it repeat?
Sometimes history repeats itself. She went through it. Maybe she feels that because she went through it, she has to inflict the punishment on somebody else. Maybe she actually doesn't know she's doing this. Maybe she really thinks it's her right. Sometimes you ask people, you highlight you're doing this, and they're so shocked that her son is a man now. He's not a child. He's going forward with his life.
Indeed, he is a man.
And he needs to be allowed to do that. And she needs to step back and allow the couple to grow. And inshallah, if she does that, she will see, inshallah, the daughter-in-law will respect her more
inshallah.
And be open. But this happens a lot.
It does. It does.
To the mother-in-laws, mothers-in-law usually try to keep control. As our sister mentioned, that she wants to be the queen of the house. Okay. But the queen of the house, in fact, becomes really queen when she is being beloved by the people in the home. She will be queen on their hearts, and then they will reflect that respect.
Yes.
If she mistreats her in-laws, she will not be queen of the house. She will be looked at in a different eye. So for your favor, for your benefit, my respected mothers-in-law, be more sympathetic, more understanding, more tolerant, more caring. Then you will be the queen of the house in the right sense of it.
Definitely be better than their own mothers, because inshallah, when they have grandchildren, she wants to see her grandchildren. Why would she the daughter allow this? So I really like that advice.
That's good.
But that does not mean that the son should ill-treat his mother.
No.
How does he balance it then? Because that was my question. My next question was going to be: so mother has rights. Paradise lies under the feet of your mother, but your wife, your life partner, has rights also. And how does he balance that?
The balance is you are not allowed to do injustice on your wife, and you are not allowed to do injustice on your mother. Mm-hmm. Be just. Give everyone, your mother and your wife, her rights. Mm-hmm. And don't allow anyone to exceed the limit to do injustice on the other. As your mother has got the biggest right on you, that biggest right on you will never allow you to do injustice on your wife. Mm-hmm. This is the balance.
That's the balance, because there's a tricky situation that's come up in there. I wonder how the brother is able or was able to deal with it, where the mother-in-law said, to his wife that, are you pregnant because you look fat? I mean, women and their weight in most societies, it can be a bit of a sensitive area, and somebody can genuinely ask, are you pregnant? But there's a way that you can ask that when it is like a under the table offensive.
Sometimes as women we do pop shots at each other. We say things that we know will get under somebody's skin. Mm-hmm. We know how to do this.
Exactly.
It's a competitive thing. I think the daughter-in-law has to be patient as well.
Inshallah.
And I think the mother-in-law has to say things sweetly and nicely. And they need to stop. This is schoolgirls behavior. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Really, they're both adults. They both have a place in the husband's heart, different place. This is ridiculous.
Okay, all right, we're nearly finishing. Said, I want you to leave the last word of advice or summarize for the viewers in general that may be facing similar situations.
Understanding the big right of the parents on the son, husband. Parents should look after their son and their daughter-in-law, and if they want their son to live happy life, they should not cause any misunderstanding in the house, because after all their son will suffer. Mm-hmm. If they pressurize on their daughter-in-law in a wrong way, and if you deal with her in an insulting way, the fire will reach to the husband. He is their son. So it is in their favor and in the favor of their son to be more caring and lovely with their daughter-in-law. Sons should look after their parents in all aspects, but they should not allow any injustice on their wives or children.
Excellent. Said, thank you for sparing us the time to come over to the studio today. And Sister Ruby, always a pleasure. And to you at home, until next time, stay safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.